Hi, it's me, Xavier. Might be the first time I've used my name in a video, um, but whatever. Back with a video, or here with a video. Guess you can't really say back if you've been gone for years. I mean, you can say back, but it's weird. That's not why I'm here. Um, I am here with a video, just to, I guess, talk. I've been sort of trying to, for the past, feels like a year and a half now, I've been trying to film videos every now and then. It's not like something that I do regularly, but every now and then when I do feel like I want to make a video, I'll record and then I won't post it because I'm just not happy with it and I'm not sure what it is. If it's just, I just don't, if it's just, I don't like the way I look, I don't like what I'm saying, I don't like how I'm saying it, I don't like how I sound. I just don't really know. But for some reason, I record it and then I end up deleting it. Because I don't know. It's weird. That being said, sorry, I have my laptop over here, and I don't want it to go completely blank. I'm not reading off of it. I just have some homework assignments I need to do. And I really can't. Part of the reason why I'm doing this now is because I really can't focus. And I feel like I just need to talk. So yeah, I'm going to talk, and I want to talk about just things recently. I'm not going to go over my whole story of the past 2-3 years or however long it's been, because there's really no need for me to do that. And I think that might be part of why I don't want to post videos, because I'm like, I don't want to post all this. Just know that the past couple of years for me have been very challenging, to say the least. Honestly, few years. We go back to 2018. Was when things really kind of hit the fan. That being said, I want to talk now just about how things are. They're not great. I wouldn't even really say they're good. I would say I'm kind of in a place where I would say I'm in a place where things are manageable, which is better than I could say for the past year and a half. It's manageable. But, and there's been a lot of changes that I made to try and help me get to that place, including changing, well, not just changes that I made, but changes that happened, including I don't have a job right now, which is kind of like a double-edged sword, because one, I need a job and I would like to have a job. Just to get out of, so my parents can stop talking to me about it or bothering me about it, and so that I can like not worry about how I'm going to start paying for things once my unemployment runs out, and just kind of not having to deal with the constant just the constant no's from job interviews, rejection and all that stuff. So yes, but at the same time, it's like not having a job has been all right, I guess, because it was one less thing on my plate that I had to worry about since last year, since late May. Well, I will just say June of last year, and I think I would say that because the job that I had was so awful. just everything about it was terrible. And it was just so stressful and so just unsafe and so it's not a place I would ever want to work at ever again. It was that bad. I've never worked at a place that bad that on the outside looks great. Usually, if I'm at a place that's like bad, like I can tell, like, okay, like, yeah, I can tell this is bad. But it on the outside looked great, but then working there, I'm like, this is a disaster. Nothing here works the way that it should be working. So I guess not having to deal with that, and then I've recently changed my master's program, just to get rid of those people who have been making my life so difficult. Has kind of allowed me to, again, it's not good, it's not great, but it's kind of just even. And it's not even like an even high or even mid, it's like really an even low. But it doesn't feel like this kind of little thing that I had been doing for years, and I wasn't really like dipping that or going that far up, but it was like super like lots and lots of deep dips. So I guess that's good, but it's not, because while it's even, it's not steady. I feel it, it feels rocky. It feels like at any moment something could happen and everything could fall. And I don't know if that's just kind of like me expecting the worst to happen because the worst has always happened, or if it really is there. I feel like it might be a little bit of both. Where it's just really rocky and shaky, and like a game of Jenga. It looks steady. It looks like everything is steady, but there's that one block. If you push it just the slightest bit, not one, there's usually a bunch, but you push that block just the slightest bit. You don't know which one it is, but you push it the slightest bit, and then everything comes tumbling down. I kind of feel like that's where I'm at right now. Not really sure where that block is. That's kind of holding up everything, but there's a few of them in there that are kind of spread throughout it, and one wrong thing and everything will come tumbling down. And there's a few of them in there, but I don't know which ones they are, and it's kind of scary to navigate that, because I don't want to fall back down, but I kind of also don't want to feel like it's inevitable, because I feel like that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But at the same time, I'm thinking realistically and considering what's been going on and how things have been looking. Chances are that one of those blocks. Sorry, oh, that scared me. One of those blocks will be messed with, as it always happens in a game of Jenga, and it'll come tumbling down. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and how much I can stifle the fall back of that fallout. So yeah, I had a group yesterday that kind of made that clear to me. Like I knew it. I know I haven't really dealt with anything that I've with the hand I've been given. I haven't really dealt with it. I've just kind of been masking and just moving on and trying to get done and whatever, but never really dealing with anything. Um, and there's been a lot. There's been a lot of change for me since 2019. There's been a lot of loss for me since 2019, and loss not just in the sense of like uh, death, you know. Um, like yes, I've had loss as far as deaths of family members and uh, friends and um, all that, but also other loss. Um, I don't even know what I was saying, but the point is that I've been dealing with a lot, and I haven't really, like, truly come confronted it and come face to face with it. It's just going and going and going and going. Oh, but last night, I was talking about that. Last night, yeah, I realized that um, I've really, like, changed the way that I present myself again. I really present myself in a way where people can't um, paint me in a certain way. But since 2018, I've really shifted that because I was sort of coming out of that. But then in 2018, stuff happened, and then I like shifted it back, but like went overboard with it. Um, because now it's just like, I don't know. It's just weird. And I just came to the realization last night that this happened. And, I just kind of was thinking about it. And yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard because I know now, I understand now why I left the program in the way that I did. I basically was begging them to take me out of a person's class and put me in somebody else's class because of a situation that I had with another professor where things went left. And when it started going left before we even stepped foot into the same classroom. And I told them, because with this professor that I had, I said, we had a situation last year where it wasn't good. I'm feeling the way that I felt last time this happened in this same program. I'm feeling the same way that I felt then. I do not want to be in that person's class because I do not want to be put in the same situation where that person is basically imposing their power upon me and forcing me to do things and basically hanging my status in the program over my head and using that as ransom, holding that ransom, right? I can't do anything. I can't say anything because if I say this or do this or say this because the person already called me angry and I made him uncomfortable and I was kind of making it seem like I was unhinged, which I wasn't. Of course, being black is the you hear the angry black woman trope, but it's like angry black woman, like they'll go straight there for a black woman. For men, they get that too, and the aggressive, but it's not so much angry, it's aggressive, right? Um, but I got that same thing, the aggressive, angry, um, that type of thing, when I wasn't doing any of that, right? So I saw the situation with this new professor. I saw it playing out the same way. And I just was like trying to nip it in the bud like immediately. As like, listen, I know what's happening. I see what's happening. I want to finish this, but I need to not be in this person's class because I don't care what happens. I don't care how this is done, but I know that even if this person does not do anything, I'm going to be sitting there the entire time worried about what they're going to do next. And you would think in a mental health program they would understand that, especially a mental health program that prides itself on being multicultural and all that stuff. You would think that they would be like, okay, listen, this person, and after this person has told them everything that they've done, you would think that this person, they would be like, okay, how are we going to work for this? Because this person has struggled through this program, not to his own doing, but because of us. It is our fault because it was their fault. So, I would think for me, if I was in their shoes, because I have been an educator in my life, I would be like, what can I do to make sure that we don't keep imposing the same things over and over and over and over and over again on this person? How can we stop the cycle and allow this person to succeed? What are we going to do? And not just like the passive, reach out if there's an issue, none of that. A very active step. This is what we're going to do. We're going to say, I don't care that the way that these classes are made are because these people are in this or in this track and these people are in this track. Because of this, we're going to make an exception, and we're going to take you out of this person's class and we're going to put you in this person's class. If that were me, I would make those types of decisions, those very active steps where you're just making a very a decision that has a substance behind it, a decision that's going to make a difference. Saying reach out and all that stuff, it's very passive. It makes you feel like you're doing something. But you're not, because it puts all the onus back on the person who is the victim in the situation. When the person who is the victim in the situation has done everything that they can to bring awareness to it, to tell you what's going on, to tell you what they need, to tell you all this stuff, and then you put it back on them. You don't do anything. You put it back on them. And so now I'm in a place where I'm in that class and I'm feeling these same things. I'm feeling these same things for an entire month. I'm feeling like, wow, I don't have control over this situation. Wow, this is going to go left. Wow, this person is looking at me this way. Wow, this person is going to try and kick me out of the program. Wow, all these things are going through my head. At the same time, I'm looking, okay, I am at this point, I'm like, I need to find a job. I need to find something to escape. Because I'm like, at this point, I don't know what else to do. I need to get out of here. I need to find something to do. And the only way I know how to escape from this and to get out of it without having anybody feel a way about what I did and feeling like I ran away from my problems or whatever is to find a job. And I put all my eggs into this one job because I was like, look, this job, it looks like it's going to pan out. It looks like I felt like I did really well at this interview. I'm like, okay, this is going to work out. And then it didn't work and I was crushed. Because I'm like, at that point, it's like, I was crushed because I had to stay. It wasn't because I didn't get the job, even though I was disappointed that I didn't get the job. Me not getting the job wasn't the reason I was crushed. I was crushed because I had no way out. At least that's what it felt like. And in that moment, I realized that what I was doing was not worth it. I realized in that moment that if I kept on in this program, that I was not going things were not going to work out for me. And not just with, like, for me personally, within myself, health wise, mental health, physical health, all that stuff. Things were not going to work out for me because people were not trying to help me. People were not standing up for me. People were being very listening, but not taking any sort of substantial action to make sure the stupid stuff that was going on for years was not going to happen again. And when I reached out and said, I don't feel like anybody is taking this seriously, and was told, well, I feel like we are taking this seriously because I'm listening to you. Yeah, you're listening to me, but you're not taking this seriously, because if you were taking this seriously, I would not feel like I am still in the same exact place after I've told everybody what's going on. In fact, feeling like I'm worse because now I've told everybody what's going on. So I at that point, I was like, let me make the calls that I need to make so that I can get my master's, because I am going to get my master's. Just because I'm not going to get it in this program does not mean I'm not going to get my master's. I will. Figure out how to still get my master's and graduate the same time that I would have graduated if I had stayed in this program, and be free to not only get a job and work, which has been an issue, is getting a job and being able to work and make money, because with this program that I was in, it was going to be impossible for me to work from this point to December. At least it was going to be impossible for me to work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. I would have had to work a 4 to 8 Monday through Friday, or the graveyard shift, and then the weekends, and then come into work every day exhausted, more exhausted than I've been for the past however long, and then still burning out, and then still not wanting to do this, and wasting all my time and money on this that didn't pan out. I'm at the point where I was at the point where it's just like, I don't even want to be a counselor anymore. I don't want to work among these people. I don't want to finish up this program. I don't want to keep doing this. I'm done. But then they preach about burnout. Well, if you're having people burn out while they're in the program, then what's the point? If you have people taking an extra class, school counselors taking an extra class that they don't need, you're just doing it, but they don't need it. Because as a school counselor, I'm not going to work with adults. I'm not going to work in a clinical setting. So why do I need to take the clinical practicum? I called other schools. They don't make the school counselors do that. The school counselors have the school practicum, they have their school internship. So why is this school different? Why did the school counselors have to take school practicum, regular practicum, and internship? Why? We only need 600 hours of experience. Or is it 700? I don't know. 100 from practicum, 500 or 600 from the internship. That's what the Colorado Department of Education says. School counselors only need 100 of practicum and 500 or 600, whatever the number is, for internship. So why do we need that extra 100 hours? Just to line your pockets? Is that it? Just to line the school pockets? Is that it? Because I don't need it. And I've been thinking about that the entire time I was here. I was like, why do I need this? If I know that I am not going to work in a clinical setting, why do I need this? I don't need it. It's not necessary for me. It's not helping me. It's not doing anything for me. The people who are working in that setting don't know how to work with a school counselor. They don't. they've said it many times, they don't know how to work with school counselors. School counselors don't have the same training that everybody else has. So we're at an inherent disadvantage at that point. Nobody wants to admit it, but we are. They all have an advanced techniques class. We don't. So we come in behind the 8 ball. And they want to say, oh, you're not behind it. They have 15 extra weeks of techniques in a clinical setting right before that class. Most of our techniques class happened years before we get to practicum. So what are you saying? Oh, you're lying? You're lying? Got it. So I am just frustrated because, I was put in a situation, it was just an unwinnable situation. I was put in a situation and nothing was being done to help, and I basically have to fend for myself. Which you should do. You should be able to fend for yourself, but nobody is helping me when I'm pleading for help, because I don't want to say begging, but I'm pleading for people to help me, for people to take notice, and to still ignore me. So, yeah, I think that's the video I'm gonna make. I will say I appreciate the program that I'm in now, because I had a conversation with one of the professors who's over it, and he basically did what I needed the people in my program to do. And he doesn't even know me, doesn't know me from Rick, James, or Bob. Doesn't know me from any of those people. But I had a conversation with him, and he just kind of he asked me, like, what's going on, because, he sees that I'm at the end of my program. I tell him, and he's like, listen, what we're gonna do is, I'm not even gonna make you tell this story to anybody else, because I feel like you've had to tell this way too many times. And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna say, okay, we're gonna look through all this stuff. These are the things that we're gonna be able to take over. You're gonna have to take 3 more classes. One is the end class, and then 2 are classes that just weren't really covered in your program. There are other classes that don't really match up that well, but considering what you've been through, we're just gonna make it work. And we're gonna get you out of here in December, and we're gonna try and make this, the last semester you have here, the best that it can be. Considering everything, we're gonna try and make sure that you get out of here without having to deal with the same stuff you've been putting up with for the past 5 years. And for me, that's not all that I needed, but that felt like a true step in the right direction. It felt like somebody truly trying to help, as opposed to standing on the sidelines and watching everything happen. And who knows what that's gonna be like, and how that's gonna happen. But for me, for what I've been through, that's a big step in the right direction. And that is the least that somebody could do. The least is to hear me, to take action, to make sure that you get, to make sure that things work out in a way that makes sense and that benefits me. And yeah, as well as leaving your door open, This passive stuff that counselors do, because I'm gonna say it's passive. Counselors are extremely passive. And for me, I've noticed that being in this career field, and I don't like that. I don't have the biggest voice. I don't speak up all the time, but I'm not passive. I have never been passive. Never. That's never been me. I find ways to stick up for others and to stick up for myself, but I'm not a passive person. I find the ways that work for me. But the standing on the sidelines and not doing anything, that's not me. That's not what I'm about. That is not Xavier at all. That may be these other people out here who think they're doing something, and because they're not actively adding on to the problem, they're okay. But if you're not doing anything to take away from the problem, you're still part of the problem. And I don't want to be part of the problem. So that's all I got to say. And that's just what I wanted to say about what I've been dealing with. Turned into a rant, but I guess I needed it.